Let's take a journey back in time to a place called America, when immigrants began to swamp the country. Much better. Now what we have here is a place called Ellis Island. Ellis Island was a place that immigrants were sent to either become American citizens, or were deported and sent back to their homeland. We are now going to take a look back on the life of a man who went by the name of Patrick O'Malley. First off, we are going to take a look at the reasons that Patrick came to America. One of the most important push was the Irish potato famine. Ireland was well known for its export, the potato. The people of Ireland made a living by growing potatoes, but in 1845, for some weird reason, all of the potatoes were rotten to the core. Literally. As you can see, this was a problem for many people that were living in Ireland, especially Patrick. He was soon evicted from his home, and he had no other choice than to emigrate to America. Patrick was one of 3.5 million Irish immigrants who left their homeland to live in America between the years of 1820 and 1850. Patrick came to America on something we would call a coffin ship. It is named so because of the Irish immigrants that died on the ship, and were either thrown overboard or arrived to the harbors of America in a coffin. Testing 1, 2, 3. These ships weren't actually the worst part of Patrick's immigration experience. Believe it or not, the worst part was the immigration process at Ellis Island. Now, as we can see, Patrick obviously got through to become an American citizen. It turns out, the rather sad part about his story was that he was separated from his friends and his family. The Irish didn't have the easiest time in America. Although Patrick was living in an Irish community with a large group of people in his tenement, he was jobless and living with a couple of friends that he recently made in his new community. One large problem that he had was the ability to get a job. And we all know that a job is very important when starting a new life. Many shop owners had the signs that said, "No Irish need apply," in front of the windows. As it turns out, Patrick got a job as a railroad worker. Many of the Irish immigrants got jobs as construction workers. These jobs didn't take too much skill to do, and were usually pretty low paying. Other than a crappy job and living in a cramped tenement, Patrick was pretty happy. Many of the Americans at the time were anti-immigrants, or were called Nativists. They disliked Catholicism to an extreme. Nativists may even have feared the Irish back then because they were afraid of them as an ethnic group. They frequently stereotyped the Irish as alcoholics. The Know Nothing Party tried to kick out the Irish from public office. After living in America for 5 years and working for about 4.5 years in the railroad industries, Patrick moved out to the west and bought some land in the Utah Territory. Soon after he obtained some land in the west, he met a woman that went by the name of Abigael Fontana. They started a family together and had a very successful agricultural life. They even made their own little potato farm, and they created a very successful business together that had been passed down through the generations ever since.